welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole, a podcast brought to you by Justis.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Aidan.
I'm Cody.
And we're in the Endgame now, Cody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
in the Endgame.
We are definitely in the Endgame for this episode. So let this be a huge spoiler warning right away. Even if you're across the room, I'm giving you time to run towards your computer right now and hit pause. If you have not seen Avengers Endgame, just don't watch this video until you watch it.
Yep. Go out and see it.
Yeah.
And then come back and listen to this podcast.
Yeah, because today we plan on giving our full review, reaction, total talk on Avengers Endgame. But I want to make sure if you have not seen that movie, last chance, spoiler warning.
Yeah. And speaking of spoilers, I had a funny thing happen at work one day.
Oh, did someone spoil something?
No, but it was funny. I didn't even give him the chance. I was working on while making food, and there was someone at the drive-thru, and then they were talking to someone else oh yeah, I just saw Endgame, and the other person was like, oh yeah, me too, and I just not even a second pause, looked over and said, no spoilers, completely serious.
Did they just stop talking?
And they're just like, I won't spoil it for you. I'm like, okay, I'm just letting you know. Because I had Infinity War spoiled for me so bad.
Oh, yeah? What part of it?
Everything.
Really? Because of the internet?
Because everything online, It was just because that was the thing where everyone just, in every thread online, every comment, it was an Infinity War spoiler.
I think that's why for this one they got so careful with it. Just today, the day we're recording the podcast, the SpiderMan Far From Home trailer has come out. We haven't seen the trailer yet, but right before the trailer, Tom Holland is giving a disclaimer. If you have not seen Endgame, do not watch this trailer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
this
that.
trailer will basically spoil some of things from Endgame, so don't watch it.
Okay.
And I don't think it's gonna. Like I said, I haven't seen the trailer yet, but it's probably you're gonna know which characters come back for sure or not, and that kind of thing. And I mean, since we've already said spoiler warning. You're also going to know that Tony's not going to be in this one.
I know.
Yeah, so that's a big part of the Spider-Man universe right now. Tony Stark is a huge role model to Peter Parker. So, where do we want to begin on this, dude?
I have no idea.
There's so much to talk about.
Let's talk about the ending of how they wrapped up Tony Stark and Captain America.
Okay.
Because they got two very distinctly different endings that fit their characters super well, though.
They did, yeah.
Because I feel like Stark got to be the father he wanted to be.
Yes.
And Captain America got the time that was taken from him back.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to word it. Yeah, see, my huge prediction for this movie was that Captain America was going to die.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I thought, because his contract was going up anyway.
I mean, I thought they were going to do a huge kill-off. I was already, putting on the table, all right, Captain America in my head is dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Iron Man / Tony Stark is dead.
I was not seeing Black Widow, though.
Oh, me neither.
That
was a heartbreaker.
Oh, I know.
That was a heartbreak. See, what I thought was going to happen is, Cap was going to, die or something, and he was going to, turn over to Captain Marvel and be like, you're their captain now, or whatever, and then she kind of takes his position, and because I don't know if you've noticed, but no one has called her Captain Marvel yet. No, if I'm remembering correctly, not even in her movie.
Really?
Yeah,
because I haven't seen her movie yet.
Yeah, she gets the name from her mentor Marvel in the movie at least.
Okay.
And so and then what's his name? Nick Fury kind of goes, I like Marvel. But that's the most they give us if I'm remembering correctly of it. So that's what I thought was going to happen. But in my head, I'm I don't know how they're going to get away. They're going to have to really do some creative writing because no one really likes Captain Marvel right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of heat on her. So if she kind of I think they were planning on giving her the rings of the MCU, but I think if they planned on doing that and kind of giving her the ending of the story too, that would have been a huge slap in the face. So the way they did it, initially, where she came up on Thanos, was starting to kick his ass.
Oh, dude, she kicked his ass.
Yeah, dude, he saw that oh shit, she's a little bit more powerful
there was that
than the
moment
others.
where it looked at his face and he was like, oh.
Yeah, and the big moment, man, where he takes, I believe it's the Power Stone out,
puts it in
punch
his other
her.
hand. Yes.
So she goes flying, and Doctor Strange and Iron Man look at it, and look at each other, and Doctor Strange looks at Tony and puts up his finger. One.
Yeah.
That was their one shot, and Tony gets it. He's like, oh my god, I can take the stones off the gauntlet and wield them. I'm just going to take the full blow of the power. You know what I mean? But it'll work. And that's what he does. You know, and Thanos thinks he's going to snap. It doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And I'm Iron Man.
That was a great moment, too, because you know what it was building to.
Yeah.
Like, you could sense it. But just that moment of that pause where, like, he thinks he won.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, nothing happens.
Yeah. That was really... See, and I almost thought, like, oh, maybe he's thinking... All you have to do is, instead of trying to get the gauntlet, just remove one stone, and he can't do the snap. Like, you would need all the stones to do the snap. Mm-hmm. So in my head, I'm thinking, we'll just take one of the stones. You know what I mean? But that wouldn't stop him. That's just another quick fix to a long problem. Yeah. So
similar to
the way Tony did it, he finally instead of cutting the wire, he took a hit for the team. Like remember that little thing him and Cap had. I missed Cap said, "Would you something about?" I'm gonna totally butcher the wording, but somewhere along the line, Cap told Tony like, "Would you ever lay down on a wire for someone?" You know, trying to tell Tony like, "You're not a real hero. You wouldn't lay your life down for anyone." And then Tony said, "No, I would just cut the wire." Like that was a very good difference between their leadership. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so this was really cool because he actually showed Cap. This and the first Avengers movie that he's willing to put his life down for the greater good. Mm-hmm. And he really did.
Yeah.
Really fucking did, man.
Yeah, because similar to your first thought, my first thought was like, you know, he did the snap and it did nothing. And then it cut to Tony. I thought he would just like be holding them. But no, they straight up on
he was ready to wield them. Yeah. Yeah. And I know we're already rushing into the... Here, let's go to the beginning of the movie real quick.
Okay.
And then we can talk more about the end. But I want to talk about how much of a mind fuck the beginning was.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, from the... and people that were doing... I was doing heavy research on this movie before the movie came out. Mm-hmm. So like, trailer breakdowns and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So, you know, those of us that have been nerding out on it before knew that there's going to be more than one battle in this. More than one face-off with Thanos. Yeah. We could tell. Mm-hmm. But what the big prediction was more of is the first mission was just going to be a failure. Yeah. Like, he was going to kick their ass again. Uh-huh. But no. They fucking kill him.
Yeah.
They execute the motherfucker.
In
the first, like,
his head
15 minutes of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went for the head.
Yeah. Dude, Thor was so great in this
man.
Movie. I loved the line where I think it was I can't remember who it was, but someone called him like Lebowski.
Yeah, like, it was Tony. Yeah, Tony called him.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was
he's
so
the dude,
fun.
man.
Yeah, he had the big guy. And everything.
And he even had the sunglasses on. Yeah. Man, that was great. And so it starts off like already breaking our hearts. First we see Hawkeye and his family, and
dude,
the theater.
When that first came on, I didn't realize at first I had to sit there and like, okay, is this the movie starting?
Yeah, it was very like
it just suddenly
yeah. And my girlfriend, she was getting all happy. She's sitting next to me in the theater. She's like, oh, you know, like seeing Hawkeye with his family and that kind of thing. Uh-huh. And I look over at her, and she looks over at me, and my face is like panicked.
Oh, yeah,
and she's like, and then
what's gonna happen.
She's like, what? And then I was like, I don't know where this is gonna go. And we look at the screen again, and there's dust.
Dude, the craziest thing that was like, he's just looking around. He's like, wait, where'd they go? But you can see like, there's the dust.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
And see, I had a feeling this was going to happen from the moment that scene turned on.
Exactly.
I was like, oh shit, this is how Hawkeye is going to become Ronin. I think that's the name he takes up when he's like a Japanese like warrior. But he goes on the big killing spree. He kind of gets like a Punisher arc. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
That's what it kind of reminded me of. But so they break our hearts with that. And then we get a little bit of hope because the team saves Tony. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's a little crazy, a little pissed off. That's okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? I loved it. And then the team gets back together. We're gonna go fight Thanos one more time. And oh my god, it was so cool the way they Thanos was just like, you saw him in his like
slowly strolling like
in his own,
limping along.
Yeah,
yeah,
and you saw him in his own place, you know, and he's living, you know, just being a regular person almost, and then they just bust in.
Because what did he call it with Nebula? It was like the garden, is where he always said he was gonna go when the plan was done.
Yeah, very biblical.
Yeah, very biblical.
And I want to say, like, didn't they chop? The first thing they did is chop his hand off.
Yeah, exactly.
And the gauntlet goes flying, and they're like, "Where are the stones?
Yeah,
they're missing." And so there's the second heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
The stones have been destroyed.
Yeah,
reduced to atoms. As Thanos says.
Exactly.
And then, so you're like, well, what do we do now? You know what I mean? Like, no, he's lying. The next thing you know, Thanos' head is gone.
Yeah.
Freaking Thor just lops it off. And then, so now you're thinking that well, how many heartbreaks was that? That's the third or fourth heartbreak? Yeah. Because now you're like, all right, movie's done. We can get out. Like,
it's
no
like
more
everything
hope.
just happened.
Yeah.
What's like what is this 3-hour movie
beginning,
gonna be?
middle, and end happened in 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're like, what the hell? And but you see, I knew it was gonna have something to do with time travel going into this. It just, there's no other way they could pull it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So once that had happened, I was like, okay, now we're going to go back in time. So it was really crazy to see the 5 years in the future thing. That was like the last heartbreak.
That was really interesting. It said 5 years later, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, they
what
just...
the hell? And then I didn't, like, when I saw the van, because I'll admit, I never saw Ant-Man or Ant-Man and the Wasp. Either one.
It's okay. I think you probably get the gist of it. You're a comic book fan.
They explained it pretty well in Endgame anyway.
Yeah.
And plus, I know mostly Ant-Man's backstory anyway, too. But so when the van popped up, I was like, oh, what's this? And started rumbling, doing all this stuff. And then the instant he popped out, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I just knew.
Yeah, I think like a rat or something hit a button and it like triggered the machine.
So or like chewed a wire or something
you
like
can
that.
thank saving the universe to a rat.
Yeah. But did you notice the security guard that he signaled help was Ken Jeong?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
I like started like laughing quietly to myself. Like in
I was hoping he would actually have some more line. I don't even think he had one line in it.
He just like stared at him.
Yeah. It was funny to see him.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ken Jeong's been doing a lot of stuff lately. He's like in a lot of places.
I just saw him on Hot Ones the other day, I think.
Yes, he was pretty funny on there.
Yeah.
Dude, have you seen the show Masked Singer? Sorry to derail the conversation a bit, but bro, it's on Hulu. You should check it out because it's like celebrities and stuff who are like, but they're in like mascot costumes.
Oh,
singing.
I've heard of this.
So like the panel doesn't know who they are. And each episode, someone's eliminated off and they are demasked.
Dang.
And it's like, bro, it's anonymous to the point that no one on the show, 100% anonymous.
Really?
Even the family members of anyone who comes in, like if they only come in if they have to be there and they wear masks as well. Like
really?
100%, no one knows anything.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty trippy. But yeah, Ken Jeong's one of the celebrity judges on
it.
That's
sorry, I was like, wait, where did this
I just realized, like, oh, I never like actually said the thing I was building up to.
It's okay. We safely titled this podcast Down the Rabbit Hole, so you're good.
That's
you're
true.
Good.
That's
but
true.
we were talking about time travel before that, and how, so you see the 5 years later, and you're like, oh wow, like this doesn't get fixed for a long time. Like think about where you were 5 years ago.
Oh, dude, it's like a world of difference.
Yeah. So like a lot can happen in 1 year. Mm-hmm. So I know because in movies we're used to seeing 20 years later, 15 years. So in a movie format, 5 years later might not seem like that big of a deal. But really think about it. These people had to deal with that trauma for 5 whole years.
Yeah, of half the population of living things.
That's crazy.
Disappearing in an instant.
That's freaking crazy. And some people make good of it, like Tony.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, they have a hard time getting over it, like Cap and Black Widow, Natasha.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think about the time travel? I'm trying to think of a way to word that question.
You know what? I feel like they didn't do it badly.
Yeah.
Because one thing I loved is how they constantly pointed out, like, and everyone kept making, like, movie references like Back to the Future and like, you know,
all the Easter eggs.
Quantum Leap and all that.
Yeah.
But they like Bruce and Stark would just constantly be like, no, none of it works that way. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. So
because it's like I feel like they set the limits for how time travel works in their universe.
So let's talk about some technical shit. So when I first saw the movie, I was confused about a couple things until I really started thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to watch the movie again to even become clear on other things.
Soon too.
But okay, so it once confused me how the Thanos that they're fighting in the end is like 2014 Thanos. Like he's from the past, and they're like, what's 5 years after 2019? They're they're like in 2024, huh?
Yeah, they're in 2024.
Okay, so it's like 2014 Thanos in 2024. Tony snaps him away.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well then, if then Thanos never did the first snap. If they killed past, it's the grandfather paradox. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I believe what's her name did the same thing. Nebula.
Nebula shot herself, but she didn't die. Did you notice that? I was waiting for that to happen.
Really?
Like suddenly, like, but I never saw that happen.
Well, yeah.
It was like it never showed her like dying in any pain of any sort, like nothing like that.
Yeah, that was a big contradiction. And another thing is Loki. Loki disappeared with the Tesseract.
Mm-hmm.
So these were big contradictions for me. And then I thought about it really hard, and I remembered them talking about Bruce. Specifically, actually, I think was the one talking about
with the Sorcerer Supreme girl.
What you do in the past does not affect the future. There's no what's it called, butterfly effect.
Mm-hmm.
That's not real. What if you travel back into the past? That becomes your new future. And if you alter anything, it branches a new timeline.
Yeah.
The old timeline stays the same. You know what I mean?
But there's a new one that like.
Yeah. So for example, if they were to just go back in time and kill Thanos when he was a baby, then their timeline would be the same. But there would be a new timeline where Thanos
never
died as a baby. Yeah. So basically, Thanos created a branching timeline where he never snapped.
So basically, the Avengers of another universe saved that universe.
Yeah. Basically, the Avengers in that universe are chilling.
Yeah.
They're chilling.
Exactly. They never had to deal with Thanos at all.
And it's cool because they totally repair their timeline by returning all the stones. Mm-hmm. So basically, they're trying to create a multiverse where Thanos never wins. It's like he doesn't win in any of the possibilities, even if those are an infinite amount of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
This is all like theoretically speaking, of course, but so the point I was trying to make is instances like when Loki got the Tesseract and disappeared, we could get movies or even the new Loki TV show might take place in that branching timeline.
Because since it's a different timeline than the actual Marvel Cinematic Universe, what happens in there has no impact on the actual MCU.
They can get all kinds of crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of like branching off thing, one thing I noticed like in that final battle when there was that moment where it was like, Captain Marvel and like had all the female Avengers all lined up.
Tight.
I feel like there could be a movie of like just
hell yeah.
And even had like I loved fucking Pepper Potts.
Oh,
in the,
dude!
in the
as
suit?
Rescue.
Yes,
I believe that's her name in the comics
Rescue?
when she puts the suit on. It's Rescue.
That's dope. But dude, like she was so cool, and her teamwork with fucking Tony and fucking like all of them was insane.
Yeah,
like that was not her first rodeo.
I know, right? It makes you wonder, like,
what other things was she a part of and dealing with?
Yeah, but also, I have to say that those suits probably have, like...
automatic battle function.
Yeah, like, she probably doesn't have to do all the moving herself.
Dude, SpiderMan's auto kill mode. Bro.
He got to use it finally.
Oh, yes, that was so amazing.
When the eyes turn all small and red.
Yeah, and it had, like... all the
he just starts stabbing everything.
Out. Oh, dude. Because I remember that suit in the comics.
Oh yeah,
and
that's the Civil War suit.
Yeah,
I honestly I much rather the design of that suit how it is in the comics rather than the movie, but it does look cool in the movie.
Yeah.
But oh man, the comics, it's beautiful because it looks more like Tony Stark didn't give a shit about what color scheme Spider-Man wanted. Like, it's just red and gold. It's like and there's no webbing on it. It's just like red with a gold spider and like some gold toning here and there, and it looks simple but so classy and cool.
I'm gonna pop it up real quick. So the Civil War Spider-Man.
Yeah, Civil War Spider-Man suit. Or Iron Spider is the official name, I think,
Iron
of the suit.
Spider.
Yeah.
I'm curious what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm an Iron Man nerd, man.
Iron Man is dope. And, dude, it all started with him.
Yeah, see, that was another thing, man. I'm not gonna lie, this movie made me tear up multiple times. Especially because,
Oh, I see.
you know, we grew up with the first Iron Man movie being one of the first cinematic universes for superheroes.
Yeah,
you know
it
what
was
I mean?
like
we were a part of that awakening, you know?
It was like part of the big first wave of new superhero movies.
Yeah,
and
like,
it like led
not
the
only was that
charge.
movie cool, like you have this really cool guy, Tony Stark. He's rich. He gets all the ladies. He's
Played
super
by
smart.
Robert Downey
Played
Jr.
by Robert Downey Jr.
Perfect actor for that role.
Exactly.
Like there was no actor better made for Tony Stark than Robert Downey
And then
Jr.
we get that freaking the first after credits scene.
Yes.
With oh my god,
Nick Fury?
Yeah, with Nick Fury.
Nick Fury.
And my headphones just went blank. Is it still recording, or did I just unplug something back? Oh, there it is.
Okay. Yeah, it's still
We're good?
recording. Yeah,
All right, so that first after credit scene with Nick Fury, and like
Isn't
Nick
he, like,
Fury's
isn't-
already in his house,
And yes.
and you're like, what? Like this guy must be important.
Mhm.
And anyone who read the comics know that Nick Fury is
The guy who started the Avengers.
yeah,
basically.
and Shield. And I can't remember exactly what he says to him. I think he said, does he say, I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative?
I can't remember.
I at some point he says that. I don't want to say that's the point.
You know
'cause
what
I
I
can't remember
think
for sure.
maybe? You know what I think maybe it is honestly. Is it's like because I feel like there was another after credit scene in a later movie where something like that happened, where it was almost like the
There's
first
always
one was
an
like
after-credit scene.
I feel like the first one was them meeting like I need to talk to you kind of deal, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, he was like, you think you're the only superhero out there, or something like that.
And then. But then I feel like I think it was maybe Avengers 2. It was the one where he's talking to him and Tony Stark's like sitting inside the giant donut sign.
Yeah.
Or something. Is that the one where he's like he's like, hey, I need to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative sort of deal.
Yeah. And then not a lot of people remember this one because not a lot of people watched the Incredible Hulk movie. But
I can't remember if I did or not.
Tony Stark has a
think I
cameo in that one.
Really?
Yeah, I want to say it's at the end, and he's like talking to the general or something, and like Tony Stark comes in, and then you're like, oh my god, they really are connecting these movies, because I want to say Hulk was the first other superhero movie besides Iron Man to be in the cinematic universe to come out.
And I feel like at this point I am totally 100% behind the actor change from that first Hulk movie
me
that
too.
came out. Like
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo killed it as Hulk.
And dude, especially as Professor Hulk.
Yes.
We haven't even touched on that yet. Yeah, dude, Professor Hulk.
And he wielded the Infinity Gauntlet and didn't die.
Yeah, dude.
That's the craziest thing.
He's that strong.
And
That's
dude,
why we need
speaking
him
of
to go
Hulk,
against Wolverine.
as well, there's a really good movie on Netflix. It's an animated movie called, I think it's Planet Hulk.
Actually, I started watching it one night, and I fell asleep during it.
Bro, it's dope, because it's basically Thor Ragnarok, you know, that planet where they find Hulk? It's like an alternate Earth of that, where he becomes the savior of that planet.
That's the more comic book story, because what they did with Ragnarok is they kind of combined two stories.
Yeah.
They combined that Planet Hulk story and the Ragnarok story.
Yeah.
And then you get your Thor Ragnarok movie.
And then they spiraled it all up into the MCU.
Yeah. And it turned out to be a really good movie.
Oh, dude, it was like, I think the best Thor movie.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I would totally agree. Yeah.
I didn't even see Dark World, though, to be honest.
No one likes that one. I mean, it's an interesting, like, because Thor's in it. Like,
but I feel like, is that the one where that stuff happens to his girlfriend, played by Padme Amidala?
Yeah, Padme Amidala. Yeah, so remember in Endgame when they go back to the past and Thor is in Asgard?
Yeah.
They're basically
in that
movie.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I feel like it was really dope how we got to have that conversation with his mother.
Oh, dude, that was a really good scene.
And that was
another
really good
tearjerker
point for him.
Yeah, he needed that.
Mm-hmm.
He was she goes, and eat a salad.
Yeah.
That was like the last thing she said to him. That was pretty good.
That was hilarious.
So, Another thing, I know we're going to branch off 100 times, but another thing I really want to talk about is, where do you think the MCU is going to go from this point?
I don't even know.
Because there was no real, after credits scene. The biggest thing we got was the dinks, just tying it back to the beginning.
Honestly, what I think they might do is they might put out individual movies a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
Yeah.
So they can, build on individual backstories without having to make, one movie with all of them in it.
I totally agree.
And then, once they finally decide, okay, there's going to be a big event happening, bam, that's when the Avengers come back in.
I think the Avengers are going to be on hush mode for a while. Mm-hmm. I don't think the next MCU is going to be Avengers movies. Check me out. Dude. So I think, like you said, they're going to start doing, single movies about single heroes. And I believe what they're going to start teasing is, suddenly people are being born with these mutant abilities. Right?
I'm going to bring up right now all the upcoming superhero movies to 2022.
What are they?
So there's one coming out called Dark Phoenix, I guess, which is going to be
that's
sequel
tied
to
the
Apocalypse.
old, it's tied into those. It's going to be the last movie of those.
And of course, SpiderMan Far From Home. The New Mutants, August 2nd, 2019. There's going to be X-Men universe, but it's going to be revolving around
listen to my theory real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted you.
So I think they're gonna start doing we're gonna get a new Black Panther movie, Spider-Man, this and that, and I think they're gonna start teasing things like mutants and that kind of thing in their universe. Maybe
because they acquired Fox, right?
They what?
Didn't they acquire Fox?
Yeah, they did. So that's what I'm saying. That snap, maybe it, he said, it had a lot of gamma radiation. Maybe some more kind of radiation. It was one of the biggest energy surges in the universe.
It specifically said that. The
exactly.
Biggest surge of energy.
That could be a start for mutants. Or, another theory I thought of, what if we have no idea what Tony wished for when he snapped? What if he wished for more heroes, a suit of armor around the Earth that would never stop?
I mean, think about this. If you have, the power of the stones right there,
mm-hmm.
Do you even need to think you could just snap and just have all of your different things, all these different intentions just go into one push.
Sometimes I'm but what if it's the genie, you have to word it very specifically.
That would be
or
interesting.
It could turn out really ratchet. You know what I mean? People are saying how did he not accidentally snap Gamora away? So we have 2014 Gamora in the future now, right?
Yes.
Because old Gamora is dead.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's from a different timeline in our MCU timeline now. And she doesn't know Peter, they don't have a past anymore. Mm-hmm. The new Guardians of the Galaxy movie, everyone is saying they're probably going to be looking for her. But how did Tony word that sentence to where it would save her? What does he say?
But there is also, though, before that moment, she had already, kind of come to their side again.
Exactly, but so what would he say? He couldn't say everyone that came with Thanos. He couldn't say that.
Everyone that currently works for Thanos.
Works for Thanos.
Or, you know what I mean? Something like that.
It does, yeah.
Everyone currently loyal to Thanos or something.
Loyal. That might be a good one. Yeah, maybe something like that.
But then there's also the idea of what if there's people in his faction that aren't entirely loyal to him, too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
I feel that it is definitely that would be interesting.
All I can say is I'm happy it was
trippy
Tony because he's probably the only mind that could have done all of that thinking very fast.
And Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The two best minds we got. Oh, that brings me to my other
big
theory.
Brain.
You just literally awesome segue. Yeah. So, okay, like I said, so I think they're going to totally reboot X-Men,
mm-hmm.
and I think we're going to start seeing mutants pop up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I think we're going to start seeing teased is, Tony Stark's dead.
Yeah.
We have all of this crazy alien technology landed on Earth.
Mm-hmm. From Thanos himself.
One of the best minds besides Bruce we have is, forgive me, what's her name from Black Panther, the sister?
Oh, Shuri.
She's
great.
One of the greatest minds, right? So imagine this, at the end of the Black Panther movie, right? She's I need help figuring out this alien technology. And then this scientist walks in. Tall, dark hair. He's got some gray on the sides. His name is Reed Richards. Now we have Fantastic Four. I heard that theory on the internet, actually.
You know what? I feel like there's been so many Fantastic Four try to reboots. I feel like at this point they could just keep pumping them out until they get it right. There's been so many.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's gonna be a slow burn. Because I think that's what they learned from all this is we enjoy the slow burn. Mm-hmm. Because all the way, when did the first Iron Man movie come out? It was early 2000s, right?
Let me check that real quick, actually.
Mid 2000s, maybe? But, what was it?
2008.
2008.
May 2nd, 2008.
So all the way from 2008
to we saw it in theaters together.
Yeah, we did, actually.
Yeah.
That's how long the journey took.
That and Hellboy.
Yeah.
Which was forever cursed due to being played by Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, he curses things.
He does. Yeah. Nicolas Cage is Nicolas Cage. Yeah. Anything he plays is Nicolas Cage.
Do you like National Treasure?
I do.
I kind of love that movie.
Because I feel like if you can somewhat appreciate Nicolas Cage, mm-hmm. you can watch his movies, even if they're terrible movies.
Yeah.
There's this one movie where he's playing this dude in LA or something. He with 2 kids, him and his family, and suddenly some virus or whatever makes all the parents turn on their children, and just his acting is so bad. It's one of those The Happening, I think it is, where they're trying to breaking down the door to kill them, all that stuff. Yeah. But it's hilarious.
Yeah. Or there's The Knowing with I think it was called The Knowing with Nicolas Cage.
Where he can look 5 seconds into the future. And spoilers.
Not that one. No. Maybe it wasn't The Knowing then, but it was the one where his son, in the time capsule, and his son finds all the
maybe
numbers.
That was The Knowing. Maybe I'm thinking of... Maybe the one I'm thinking of is named something else. But I think The Knowing is the one you're thinking of where...
With the numbers in the time capsule?
Yeah, the numbers in the time capsule that's all the disasters
the major disasters. People. That's creepy, dude.
Yeah.
They must have had an Infinity Stone.
But the one I was thinking of is one where he's this dude who can see 5 seconds into the future. And then
I don't think I've seen that one.
At the climax of the movie, he sees 5 seconds in the future to him seeing 5 seconds into the future, to make this long chain of possibilities and stuff. It's trippy.
Whoa.
It was an entertaining movie.
Whoa.
Just, Nicolas Cage.
Is he the main character?
He's the dude who can see 5 seconds in the future, of course.
Okay.
Because Nicolas Cage could never turn down a role.
Is that the joke?
That's the joke. Anything you present him, he's I'll take it.
That's funny. I think he's being picky now. Yeah. He did a good choice on picking. I know you haven't seen it yet, but he was the black and white Spider-Man in Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, no way.
The dark... Oh, dude, he's so good. I'm Nicolas Cage. Voice acting is your new career.
Yeah,
dude,
I would totally...
good at that.
Yeah, definitely.
You're really good at that.
And I feel that's sort of gonna become the future with how technology is being
mm-hmm.
and that's another thing I can tie back into Avengers Endgame is the CGI in it. They did a pretty good job.
Oh, yeah.
There was only one moment I can think of where I was oh, that's obviously CGI. And that was at the end where they're at the water. The way it looked, it just hella looked like CGI.
I don't know exactly what moment you're talking about.
It's at the very
end.
Funeral? At the funeral.
Okay.
And you just see the water going down the river at certain points. It just looked pretty fake.
What I'm always impressed of is Thanos, dude.
Yeah.
He's our main antagonist and
the Incredible
he's fully CGI. Yeah.
He wasn't fully CGI in this movie, except for maybe one. Yeah, except for the point where he's talking to what's her name, the bald chick.
Oh yeah, not Emperor Supreme.
Sorcerer Supreme, but she has another name too.
I can't think.
It's the Ancient One or
the
something.
Ancient One.
Ancient One, yeah. Okay.
The Ancient One, yeah. Dude, I watched the Doctor Strange movie on Netflix.
Yeah, dude, that's such a good movie.
It's good, but honestly, I would have liked it a lot better if I hadn't seen how they do magic in the MCU. I love the way they do magic now.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of cheesy, the way they do it in the cartoon movie. You know what I mean? But like the way they like the gold like shapes and everything that come the sparks, you know what I mean? That Doctor Strange and all of them do.
I don't think I've seen the cartoon one. I've seen the live action one.
Well, that's I mean like the live action
like,
one is with the gold sparks and everything. The
one
cartoon one is like it's hard to explain. It's just like wavy colors and like.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's
okay.
It looks like there's a whole bunch of different types of magic. Like from all around the world, and like they're wielding all these different kinds of magic.
Because I feel like the one in the live-action movie with Benedict Cumberbatch was there was like some really trippy like Inception stuff where it was like
they did an amazing job with that movie. I think
like just the trippy effects they did everywhere.
Their version of magic is dope because it's like science.
It is like it's like and just like all the crystalline structures like it's very appealing to the eye.
Yeah. And I'm still so in love with the way they did this time travel thing because
I thought they called it a time heist.
Oh right, like, yeah, hell yeah,
fucking Scott Lang.
Yeah, thank you, Scott Lang. But yeah, like it almost makes you think it's almost like a Rick and Morty type of universe where there's even though Iron Man is dead, there's technically an infinite. And we could pull him from a different
universe.
Time.
Yeah.
If we just grab him from the past and bring him to the future, then there's just a timeline existing without Tony for a bit. You know what I mean?
But I don't know if they'd ever really go that option because they'd be depriving another universe of their
It's
Tony.
Gonna be in like 10 years, and it's gonna be the very last movie. Like the X-Men have failed, Fantastic Four have failed, and like, yo, we gotta go back in time and get Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? That'd be so sick, dude.
That'd be crazy.
But yeah, dude, I think they're gonna start teasing things like Weapon X. We're gonna start because I think mutants are gonna be a new thing, so they're gonna start like experimenting on them.
And another thing I feel like they might do, I can't remember if you touched on this earlier, but not just like X-Men stuff for upcoming movies. I feel like with all the stuff that happened in this one, I wouldn't be surprised if there was like some sort of Hulk movie coming up.
Oh yeah, because they have to deal with all this.
All the stuff like all his arm and leg, it's like all messed up. You know, he saw him at the funeral
that's a good
with
point.
The thing. Like, you have to see like
we
what's
need
gonna happen
a standalone Hulk movie with Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
As the lead. I mean, Ragnarok, he was
he was
like
more
Thor's movie.
But
but that'd
his
be
name
sick,
just wasn't
dude.
on the box.
That'd be totally sick. And I kind of want to see him lose it again.
Yeah, I feel like because especially since like Iron Man and Captain America, they had just the huge like closure moments with both of them.
We still need closure from others.
Yeah, you got to see like they're not just going to leave off Hulk with all that stuff or else they would have made some sort of point as well. You know, like if they were going to do a full send off, I feel like they would do like you know what I mean? Because I don't feel like if they were gonna do a send off, they wouldn't just like slowly piece it out like for just like a short period
See,
or
I think
like that.
So I think what we can, the future of the MCU is gonna look like team build-ups. This was a one big team, right? The big, huge cinematic team, and I think we're gonna start looking at team build-ups, and I think they're gonna really slowly burn it, and the way they're gonna do that is by using standalone movies to slowly close off this chapter even further. You know what I mean? And eventually, we're going to be existing in a world where the age of Avengers was the past.
Yeah.
And the age we live in is the age of X-Men and Fantastic Four and Secret Wars and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we have a long future with Spider-Man. I could totally see Spider-Man hooking up with X-Men.
Oh, yeah,
Spider-Man
definitely.
frequently hooks up with Fantastic Four.
He just, like, he goes wherever he wants.
Yeah, bro,
everyone's like, who was Spider-Man?
He's all of New York.
Yeah.
He's all of it. Oh, did you know something we never even talked about? The new Captain America. Because I was going to bring it up.
Again?
Falcon. I can't think of his character name. That's gonna bug me. I might remember it by the end of this.
Justice League Part 2 is coming out this year?
Part 2? Wait, that was a Part 1?
June 14th, Justice League Part 2. I didn't realize the first one was Part 1.
Me neither. Are they just trying to, like,
They're
sneak
just
that
fucking
in?
up.
Come on,
really,
Justice
DC
League.
is, like,
DC
doing so bad.
Is my favorite.
Although they do have a
sucking
Cyborg
right now,
movie
man.
coming up.
That'd be pretty
So,
chill.
I mean, I feel like I'm not saying this is going to happen, But there's almost like a thought in my mind where like if they really are listening to how much everyone is hating on this like incarnation of stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if there's almost like they're using like the new Aquaman how like had a different tone a little bit.
Right.
And like, I don't know about this Justice League Part 2, but maybe like Cyborg and Green Lantern will have like almost like different tones.
Yeah. Like I think the next Green Lantern movie is like a Green Lantern Corps movie, and I think it's supposed to have like a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe, and the fact that it's not going to take place on Earth. It's going to take place in space on like the Green Lantern Corps base. I think it's a whole planet if I'm remembering correctly.
I think so, yeah.
And then so we're going to get like a cool space cop movie type of thing.
I feel like Cyborg could be cool because I mean that might start getting into like Teen Titans stuff.
Oh, dude,
which that would be amazing.
Yeah, because I'm not a huge fan yet of the Teen Titans for the new DC streaming service, but I can see them doing awesome shit. Like, dude, imagine a Nightwing movie.
Oh, dude, that would be awesome
for their cinematic universe.
That would be cool as hell.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder, so if in Marvel, if the only way they can access other timelines is by time travel. But if you look in the DC universe, they can access other timelines via the Speed Force.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a little bit different. That's almost like another dimension like that all the other dimensions exist in.
Oh, this is...
What?
No, I was looking for a list of, like a good list of like superhero movies coming out in the next few years, and it was like a joke list.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of
got
those.
my hopes up.
Yeah, like everyone's teasing like all this X-Men stuff and Secret Wars and...
Isn't there supposed to be like a what is it, like Young Avengers something planned?
There's
like
stuff,
Squirrel Girl and everything.
There's stuff like that being talked about. I don't know if there's any real plans.
Okay.
But I actually remember being in like 6th, 7th grade reading the Young Avengers, because those comics were the ones I think I started reading after the Civil War comics.
Oh, okay.
Started reading a lot of the Young Avengers, and I remember I was like obsessed with like the costume designs in that.
Yeah.
Like if I'm remembering correctly, the young Iron Man had Iron Lad or whatever his name was. I think it was like instead of red and gold, it's red and silver.
Oh, that's
and
dope.
It comes out so cool. He looks like he could be Iron Man's sidekick. You know what I mean?
Oh, very nice.
So yeah, people are saying his daughter is probably, gonna grow up to take up the mantle.
I can see that.
And think
because
about
she was
now
already finding the helmet and the fucking thing.
We got a female version of the suit, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe no matter what the suit is, it would fit anyone.
Yeah, I can see that being a thing.
It kind of when Hulk put the glove on, it got bigger for him. So I think maybe as long as you're not really small, it's probably a one-size-fits-all kind of thing with his suits. Yeah, he wants to give himself a little belly room for Thanksgiving. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so they're saying that she might be our. I think in the comics, her name is something like Ironheart. Or something like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
And now, so if her mom is already starting to take up the suit, then she can have a little mother-daughter time with that. That can be some great stuff. We can.
You know what would be interesting? Think about, because Tony, like, when it comes to science stuff, he trusts Bruce too. You know what I mean? He knows he's another great mind.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wonder if there's like something with Tony's lab where like he left stuff like for Bruce. Like, like he had his video will thing. Imagine if he just had like a video instruction set, like, hey, Pepper Potts is gonna be using this maybe.
I guarantee
here's like
he
some
has
maintenance
stuff set up
for Bruce. That I
and
feel
they can write stuff in like that from now until eternity if they want to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, and he left this behind, and he left this behind.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, now the more I'm thinking about it, though, I would say that we might. I think you're right. We might get a Young Avengers movie sooner than I would have thought.
Yeah.
Because I would have. And, maybe they might lag the other stuff even more, because couldn't you totally see the new captain training the new Avengers.
Yeah, because after this point I can see all of them. Yeah, they're breaking.
He would be a little bit older, but he's still young and taking on a new position. So he would fit in with the young Avengers. You know what I mean? As like their leader. You know what I mean? That'd be sick, dude. But man, like I just couldn't see Tony's daughter ever, like, would they do a huge time jump to get her old enough to be in the suit? Or do you think someone else is... Because I think the way it went in the comics is, like, someone else found his stuff in suit, like a young guy or something like that.
Okay.
But I think his daughter does take it up eventually as Ironheart.
Okay.
That's going to take time, you know.
So maybe that's one certain aspect they'll
My headphones just went out again. I don't know if...
We're still recording.
Check. Welp. I'm still coming through 100% though?
Oh, I still hear you.
Well, honestly, I say we take this time to bring it to a close then.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to go off about these movies for another hour if we don't.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, and we're just, even off camera, we're just not going to stop talking about it.
Yeah,
so
I'm going to watch plenty of theory videos and coming up with all kinds of crazy theories and ideas within the next few weeks. And I'm sure you'll hear more of us talking about it and ranting about it in the future podcasts.
Let's just stream for like 8 hours of us ranting about movies or something on Twitch or something.
Yeah, you know, it would be great one day to like stream one of these movies and talk about. I know they have websites and things like that to help. I don't even want to say New Rockstars is starting to use something where they can like basically do a whole movie breakdown. They're like breaking down a movie while you're watching it.
Okay.
I wish I could shout it out properly. I just don't know exactly what the site is and all that.
Okay.
But yeah, New Rockstars, check them out.
Yeah, they're pretty dope. I've seen quite a few of their videos as well.
Yeah. So I hope everyone out there gets a chance to, well, hopefully you didn't watch this. I was going to say help you get a chance to see Endgame, but hopefully you didn't watch this if you didn't see it, because that would have been a huge spoiler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I hope everyone out there enjoyed it. I really did. I super enjoyed it. I don't even want to give it a 1 to 10, though, because it doesn't deserve that.
Yeah, because for me, what it felt like, it was like there was this, like, moment of closure, almost. Yeah. Of just, like, after the crazy ending of Infinity War, all that time just waiting, and all of a sudden...
Yeah, and it's not like I'm saying it's super past a 10 on the scale. I'm saying there is no scale because you couldn't compare this to other movies.
Yeah.
Because this is its own thing.
They've been building up for over 10 years.
Exactly. This is not a standalone movie by any means.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, look at us. We're already going off again.
Yeah, we're not going to stop. Ever.
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone out there has an excellent week. Yep. Thanks for dropping by and listening to us. I hope you had a good time listening to us rant about these topics and awesome movies that we absolutely love.
Oh, yeah. And remember, on Facebook and Instagram, it's at JustisBand, and on Twitter, it's at InjusticeWeStand.
Yeah. We will catch you on the flip.
Oh, yeah.